John. Thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Why I Love Flagler County, your local podcast spotlighting local businesses and local residents on why they like being a part of Flagler County. So today I'm super excited. I know he's super busy, so I'm honored that he took time out of his day to come on the podcast and share a little about his business and his journey coming down here to Flagler. So, John, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on.
Of course. Well, I'll let you kind of kick it off and tell a little bit about your journey coming down here to Flagler.
So my name is John Mangano. I am the owner of Mangano Plumbing, which is based in Palm Coast, which, of course, we service the Flagler Beach area and Flagler County. A little bit of my background is that I have been a master plumber since I've been about 27. I'm now 41. I owned a successful plumbing business up on Long Island, New York. And I was very blessed where I sold to a conglomerate and they had purchased my plumbing business, which allowed me to make the jump to sunny South Florida, where I had become an operations manager for another plumbing company. And in the interim, I had got my state master plumber's license for Florida. And then I decided after my non-compete was over to move up towards Palm Coast to be closer to my family, which is my sister and my niece. And here we are.
Awesome. Yeah. What brought you? I mean, I guess you wanted kind of the change in weather, change in scene.
Well, a little bit of change of weather. Like I said, my family resides in Palm Coast, so I have my sister, my stepdad, and my niece. So I wanted to be closer to them, even though I was 3 hours away down in South Florida. Just you know how that goes. You wanted to be a little
it's closer than a flight.
That's
for sure.
Exactly it.
Yeah, I used to live in Michigan, so I know exactly the flights and the weather. It's a lot for sure. Yeah. So you said that you started off plumbing when you were about 27. How
Correct.
did you kind of find that was something you wanted to do and then keep on going with that?
Honestly, I watched all my friends go to college and I went to trade school. And when they got out of college, they were in a lot of debt and I was not, having kids at a young age. I stayed in the trades. I liked it and I enjoyed it and was very successful at it. So that's where I wound up staying. I went to school for criminal justice, which I wasn't really a fan of. And then I decided that when I had started my business in New York, I would go to school at night at BOCES to take business management classes so I could better myself as a business owner.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's super cool. I mean, I'm in kind of that similar boat. I have a lot of friends in college as well. And then this is kind of what I'm doing. And it's fun so far. So I think I'm okay. Yeah. So you took some of those business classes. What do you think the difference was that you learned in the business class versus being a business owner? Was there something that you learned while being a business owner? You're like, no way I could have learned this in a classroom, but it's something that I have to do with now.
The business classes got me prepared to run a business. Mm-hmm. So it's like the way I looked at it it's like unfortunately for me, it was like going to algebra, right? And how many times you trying to figure out the square root of an acute triangle. So you need to know the information, but it doesn't necessarily apply every day. But it did give me the business basics for management, a little bit of background in accounting, just kind of like a smorgasbord of, hey, this is how you do a little bit of everything. Get you a little bit prepared, but doesn't teach you everything type of deal. Sure. Like I said, school wasn't my strong point, but I learned enough to make myself successful in the route that I was trying to take.
Yeah, and it's obviously paid off. So what kind of maybe tidbit would you have for someone to start preparing for something like that? If they're new in business, or maybe they've been in business for a while, but they're still always looking to grow.
Well, I mean, if you were going to start your own business today, the main thing is not being afraid. There's a lot of, unfortunately, you get very apprehensive because you question yourself. It's a big step. It's scary. You take away your stability. Even myself, after owning my own business in New York, successfully selling it, moving down here, starting another, there's days we have 15 jobs. There's days we have 3. It's a lot of up and down. It's a roller coaster. It's, hey, did I make a right decision? The main thing is trust your gut and stay steadfast and, make sure that you're reaching your goals and you don't let anything stop you and deter you from reaching those goals.
Yeah.
That's really probably the best advice I could give anybody.
I think that's really solid, especially the whole trusting your gut part is really important when you're in it kind of, I wouldn't say for yourself, but in that sense of you are in charge of yourself. I mean, you're the one you're going to fall back on the end of the day. You make
Correct.
the decisions, and it should be
Correct.
a decision like, okay, I know it might not be the best, or maybe it might turn out bad, but it's something that I have to, I think I'm getting this gut feeling. I'm going to follow this till hopefully we get a good ending. Um, so that's really important. Um, You've kind of, I mean, you've bounced around Flagler and Florida and stuff like that. What would you kind of recommend for new people in the Flagler area to kind of put themselves out there, get themselves known in the community, get to know
Well,
their neighbors a little bit?
so I mean, honestly, since I've been here, I moved here honestly in July of 2023. There's truthfully so much to do here. So you have the restaurants at the beaches. Of course, you have the beaches. You have rodeos that come into town. I mean, if you want to go, I know it's a little bit out of Flagler, but you always have Daytona and you have the
Right.
Speedway. Um, my advice is get to know the locals, go to the beach, of course, take some time, go to the restaurants. There's always something going on here. The local pamphlets, it's really just such a robust neighborhood of truthfully family friendly, fun things to do. Of course, you have bike week, and when that rolls into town, everywhere in Flagler is ready for the bikers to come in. So there really is there's not one thing I could pinpoint on because there's really so many amazing things to do. I
Hmm.
know that generally every Sunday I like to go if they're having it, obviously weather permitted, the farmers market
Oh yeah.
in Flagler Beach. I like to take a cruise over there on my motorcycle, enjoy the beach, go take a walk through the farmers market, see what they have going on there. And if it's a beautiful day, I like to go to the Funky Pelican, sit out on the deck. You got the water right there. You got the waves underneath you. So I don't know. It's a real nice combination of everything. I found it a really beautiful place and a robust place to live when it comes to having different things to do.
Yeah. And would you say, I mean, because you lived in South Florida and then also, in the New York area, the paces of how those towns move is a lot different, I think, than Palm Coast. So for a lot of the us fellow Northerners coming from that kind of pacing, what would you kind of recommend for us to kind of take it easy down here, if that makes sense?
I mean, to take it easy. I mean, I'm trying to think. I mean,
I think the
unfortunately
beaches,
for
like what you mentioned, is really good as well.
Yeah, I mean, oh well, I mean, truthfully, my favorite place to go to relax is honestly Matanzas Inlet. You
Oh,
have both sides. You have the ocean side, which is a little rougher, which you go surfing over there. You have fishing because if fish right there either off the bridge or off the beach. But me, I like to hang out on the I guess the inlet side or the intracoastal side, and just kind of float around on the float and I drink water, have a water, and get a suntan and just kind of relax. I mean that's my go-to place personally.
yeah, I had no idea that they did that over there. So that's really, really great for me to know. That's why I love
Yeah,
asking these questions because I find out so much that I've never done in Flagler. And I've been here, I'm coming up on 2 years, and I
yeah.
still haven't done like 90% of things. Um, Before we hop off, I'd love for you to share what is the best way someone can contact you, and what are some of the things that you help people with so they have a little bit of an idea when they contact you.
So, plumbing is, as being a plumber, plumbing's diverse. So we do things simple from just installing or removing a new water heater to clogged drains to something a little more difficult. If you have a house with, copper piping that's underneath the ground, you want to perform a repipe. So we kind of handle it all. Different ways to reach us. You can reach us on Facebook. We have our Google page. Our phone number is 386-313-8004. I always answer the phone. I really try to pride ourselves in customer service. We have great reviews. And that's not from me saying that. That's literally what the people say from our service. So, I'm very, very excited and happy to see that we have such an amazing company growing here, and we're happy to grow with the community.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know so many people, I mean, we are together in the local BNI chapter, and I know at least
Yep.
when I joined before our new system changed over, you were getting a testimonial like twice, 2 different times, like every week. And now we have a new bit of a system. That's why, but I know that you do an amazing job because you really put the customers first, which is
Well,
really
thank you.
important in business.
It
Yeah,
is.
of
It is
course.
important. And you know what? Truthfully, at the end of the day, if you do right by the customers and you provide a quality service, the business truthfully builds itself and grows on
Right.
its.
Yeah, and I think that that's another great business tidbit is taking care of those customers. Those customers become your salespeople, you know, they just want to share that they got a good, reliable person to
That's
talk to.
that's that's exactly it. They want to share that they've met a reliable person. That's exactly it.
Yep. Well, John, thank you so much for the time today. I really appreciate it. I know you're super
No, thank
busy,
you. I
so
really
it means a lot.
appreciate you having me on.
Of course. Well, thank you again, and thank you to anyone listening. I really appreciate you, and I will see you next time.
And it was a
Bye.
pleasure. You have a good night.